Alright, so first of all, let me just tell you very quick how this is completely different from all of the other reviews. Basically, vast majority, all of the reviews really tell you all of the different features of the softwares, but they just give you a list and that's it. And at the end, you are still confused because you don't really know what actually is the best for your specific needs. Whereas what I try to do with my reviews is I don't tell you about all of the different features. I tell you only specific features that you actually need to know to make a decision. And I tell you what tool is best for your specific case because it's always dependent. So I don't waste your time. I tell you only what you really need to know. I put in a lot of work and effort, me and my team, trying to figure this stuff out. And also I have discounts and bonuses for all of the different tools that I talk about, so check all of the links. By the way, I created a blueprint for the best business model out there, so check the description. Okay, so we will start out with some marketing features because when it comes to newsletters, marketing is one of the main priorities. So first of all, we have referral program. So this is within your newsletter, you can have a section that you give out something in exchange for a referral. Let's say like if people refer 3 people, you're going to give them something. If they refer 10 people, you're going to give them something. If they refer 100 people, you're going to give them something, whether it's some digital freebie, coaching session, some physical good, whatever it is. There's a lot of cases of newsletter softwares growing crazy using this exact thing. So it can be very, very beneficial. So Beehive, they already have this integrated within their software, which is amazing. MailerLite, they don't have it within their software, so you need to use a third-party software, but with additional tool, you're able to do it. ConvertKit has it. However, one note here is that it only comes with the Pro plan. It uses SparkLoop, so it comes with the premium, but not on the cheaper plans. By the way, I have created a document of 50 best growth hacks used by the biggest marketers out there. Check the link below. With MailChimp, you can use this using third-party software. Ghost, unfortunately, doesn't have this and you can't integrate any other tool. Substack doesn't have this and you can't integrate other tool. GetResponse, you need to use a third-party software to be able to do this. Next, super important marketing feature is the recommendation network. And what this means is basically, let's say someone subscribes to your newsletter and then you have this pop-up that shows other newsletters that they might be interested in. So you're kind of exchanging this newsletter subscriber, whatever you want to call it. It can be a very powerful way of growing your list as well, because you don't really need to do anything. You just need to find someone to have these recommendations exchanges with. So Beehive has this already integrated with it, which is amazing. MailerLite, unfortunately, you don't have this feature and there's no app as of now to do it. ConvertKit has a recommendation feature within the software. MailChimp doesn't have this and no other app. Ghost has this within the software. Substack has this within the software. GetResponse doesn't have this and can't integrate it. Next, let's talk monetization. And first of all, sponsored posts. So these are called different on different platforms, but basically what this means is that within your newsletter, you can ask people to subscribe to other newsletters and you actually get paid for that, usually somewhere between from as little as $1 to as much as maybe $5 if people just subscribe to a different newsletter. So Beehive has this already integrated. MailerLite doesn't have it and it's impossible to use any other tool. ConvertKit has this within the software. MailChimp doesn't have this. Ghost doesn't have this. Substack doesn't have this. GetResponse doesn't have this. Next, we have Ad Network. This is again part of monetization strategy, and Ad Network basically just means that the software allows you to find ads automatically being placed on your newsletter, so they save you a lot of time. Do keep in mind that you will need to pay usually 20% fee for that, and even if they don't have ad network, you can go out and find ads yourself, or there are specific tools that allow you to do it, and you'll just pay fees for those tools. I will leave all of the links for all of the additional tools that I mentioned, by the way, as well. Beehive has this. They do have an ad network, and usually they will pay you per click. MailerLite doesn't have ad network, but there are other tools that you can use. ConvertKit has an ad network. The only note here is that you will need to have at least 10,000 subscribers to be able to join. MailChimp doesn't have ad network, but you can use some other tools. Ghost doesn't have ad network, but you can use other tools. Substack doesn't have an ad network, but you can use other tools. GetResponse doesn't have ad network, but you can use other tools. The next point for monetization as well is digital products, and this is honestly, you can make a lot of money through sponsored posts and ad network. However, if you really want to level up to the next level and make a lot of money from your newsletter, then digital products is the way to go. This is where you can really make a lot of money, and I have, by the way, a whole channel dedicated on just building a digital product business, so I will leave all of the links. Check that out. So unfortunately with Beehive, you actually don't have any way of selling digital products. They don't have that functionality, which is really unfortunate. With MailerLite, you can sell digital products, and I would say they have a fairly good functionality when it comes to setting up different e-commerce things that you will want, like ad retargeting and stuff like that. With ConvertKit, they do allow you to sell digital products, and they are fairly good at it. It's one of their focuses as well, so you do have quite a lot of functionality. MailChimp allows you to sell digital products, and they do have fairly good features when it comes to that. Ghost doesn't really allow you to sell any digital products. Substack doesn't have any functionality to sell digital products. GetResponse has a functionality to sell digital products, and actually they have very advanced tools because you're able to build out different funnels and whatnot. It's almost a mix between email marketing and a funnel software. Now, the next thing is, again, monetization, and we're talking subscriptions. So technically this is a digital product as well, but I put it separately because this is just one digital product that some softwares allow you, whereas with digital products, there's so many different products that you can be selling. So with the subscriptions, I'm not going to go one by one because actually all of these different softwares allow you to have paid subscriptions. Now, the next step is design. And when it comes to design, this is basically how exactly you can design your actual newsletter, and also when it comes to your opt-in pages, forms, landing pages, all of those kind of things. So first of all, when it comes to Beehive, I will actually give 10 out of 10 to Beehive. They have slightly, it's not a huge massive difference, but they have a couple of little design things specifically when it comes to the newsletter that are better, that do stand out and that allow you to do additional stuff. MailerLite is a 9 out of 10. You can create really beautiful looking newsletters with MailerLite. ConvertKit is a 9 out of 10. They allow you to create really good looking newsletters. MailChimp is a 9 out of 10. They have most of the functionality that you will need. Ghost is a 9 out of 10. They allow you to create pretty nice newsletters. Substack is honestly only 4 out of 10. They really are just very plain and boring, and they have very few tools, so I really don't like the design of Substack newsletters at all. GetResponse is a 9 out of 10, and I would say 9 out of 10 because of the newsletters, but actually when you look at their landing pages and their pop-ups, opt-ins, all of that, they have very high functionality. You can create some really amazing designs, and it's way better than all of the other email marketing tools. So I would give 10 out of 10 for that, but when it comes just to the newsletter itself, I will say it's a 9 out of 10. Now, next thing we got is integrations, and why this is important is basically because if you're using other tools, so for example, let's say you are running a store on Shopify, or you're running your website on WordPress, or you just want to use specific tools for your conversions, for running ads, let's say, whatever it really is, you will need to have integrations, especially if you want to build a really big business. So when it comes to Beehive and integrations, I actually put 0 out of 10, but they just started doing some integrations. So now technically you can integrate with WordPress and Shopify, but it's still really limited, and it still is not very beneficial. I can't still really use it with my WordPress website. So I would say it's almost basically non-existent, unfortunately. MailerLite has been out there for a long time. So when it comes to integrations, it's a 9 out of 10. You will be able to integrate almost every tool. I think they literally have hundreds of different integrations. ConvertKit is really great when it comes to integrations. It's a 9 out of 10, a bunch of different tools out there. MailChimp is great when it comes to integrations. I would say it is a 9 out of 10. Ghost has surprisingly a fairly good amount of integrations. I will give them an 8 out of 10. It is lacking a little bit. Substack doesn't have any integrations, honestly. It's 0 out of 10. If you'll need any integration, then you're in a bad luck. GetResponse has a ton of different integrations, so it is a 9 out of 10. Now, the next really important thing is automations, and this is important for basically your conversions. So if you are running a business, you are doing certain offers that you are promoting, whether it's digital products, affiliate, whatever it is, you want to set up certain automations that will just help you to make money on autopilot. I can't emphasize how important that is and how much easier it's going to make your life. So when it comes to Beehive unfortunately doesn't have yet many automations. They actually just started implementing automations a couple months ago of me making this. So it's a 5 out of 10 because they have some of the basic ones that you will need, but they don't have more advanced features like, for example, A/B testing within the automations, and they are lacking certain triggers and things like that. MailerLite actually has really amazing automations. I will give it a 9 out of 10. It has almost everything I would say you will need. The only reason I'm giving it a 9 is because there are some other email marketing softwares that are really next level, but it has all the main functionalities. ConvertKit is really good when it comes to automations. I will give it a 9 out of 10. You will have pretty much vast majority of what you will need. MailChimp has a good amount of automations. I will say some of the other softwares have a little bit more. I will give it an 8 out of 10 because it's just lacking a couple of basic triggers and basic automation steps. Ghost doesn't have any automation, so it's completely a 0 out of 10. Substack doesn't have any automation, so it's completely 0 out of 10. GetResponse has a lot of automation, so it is a 9 out of 10. Next we have user experience, and one of the things is the ease of use, how easy, just how simple it is to use the software. Beehive has done a great work. It's very easy to use the software. I will give them a 9 out of 10. It's very straightforward. They also have a lot of different tutorials how to do it. MailerLite, when it comes to ease of use, is probably one of my favorite softwares because it's just so simplistic, and I put 9 out of 10, but honestly it could maybe even be a 10 out of 10. It's super straightforward, especially considering how many different advanced functions they have, and they have a lot of video tutorials as well how to do certain things. ConvertKit, when it comes to functionality, ease of use, I would say that it's maybe a 7 out of 10, just because it's slightly different from all of the other email marketing softwares, newsletter softwares, and the way they do it, the way they do the things, it's going to take you a minute to really learn how to do it, and once you learn it, I guess it's not that difficult, but it's a little bit more complicated than some of the other tools. MailChimp, ease of use, I would say is around 8 out of 10. It's not horrible, but there is definitely some place for improvement. It's not as simple as something, let's say, MailerLite. Ghost is okay to use. It's a little bit more complicated, not such a straightforward platform, so I would say it's a 7 out of 10. Substack, well, it's just very basic software, so honestly the ease of use is a 9 out of 10 because you have so very few features to really work with. When it comes to ease of use with GetResponse, I'm actually quite surprised because it is a very advanced software. They have a lot of different functionalities, but I will give them a 9 out of 10 because it is still very straightforward even with all of the different stuff they have. So when it comes to Beehive pricing, there's a couple of things here you need to understand. So first of all, they have a completely free plan for $0 up to 2,500 subscribers. However, the only thing here is that you will not have all of the different monetization options, the ad network, the boost, and premium subscriptions, and also a bunch of other things like automations and the referral, some of the tools that really help you to grow. You don't have that. So it comes with, like, I would say, a very basic sort of free plan. And the other thing to understand then is basically you have two different plans. So you have the scale and you have the max. The only difference really here is that you have all of these functionalities on scale, but on max, first of all, can remove the Beehive branding. You also get a course, but also the main thing I would say is that you can have up to 10 publications. So this is basically really if you want to scale more, whereas with this you have 3 different, I don't see where it's written, but you have 3 different publications with the scale plan. In general, the scale plan is $39 per month for 1,000 and max is $99 per month, which honestly is pretty expensive to start out with. That is just for 1,000 subscribers. But in general, what I like to do is check 10,000 subscribers. So when we do 10,000 subscribers, the scale plan is $99 per month, and then the max plan is $200 per month, which honestly is a fairly good pricing. I would say at the scale plan, especially at $99 per month, that is good value. When it comes to MailerLite pricing, first of all, you have completely free plans, so up to 1,000 subscribers, you don't need to pay anything. There is a limit of 12,000 emails per month, and you get a fairly good chunk of different features. However, if you will want to, let's say, sell digital products, have auto resend campaigns, some of these more advanced features, or some really advanced features like Facebook integration, AI writing assistant, all of these things, you will need to proceed to other plans. But the other plans, they start as cheap as $10 per month. However, this is only for 500 subscribers. And the advanced plan is only $20 per month, and that's again for 500 subscribers. I would say that with growing business, you actually get crazy amount of the different features. For most people, that might be enough. You will only need to go with advanced if you want to really take it to the next step. You want to run Facebook ads. You want to have multiple triggers and automations. You want to have that smart sending and things like that. But really, for a lot of people, the advanced plan, the growing business plan, sorry, might be enough. And if we increase this in comparison to just to compare for 10,000 subscribers, growing business is $73 a month, which is the cheapest out there that you will find, and advanced is only $110 as well, so it's really the best value for money. When it comes to ConvertKit pricing, first of all, you have this newsletter, which basically is a completely free plan, and it allows you up to 10,000 subscribers, which actually sounds pretty insane. However, there is a catch, and the catch is that you only have one basic visual automation and one email sequence and also one user. So really that limits you a lot. So if you will want to have unlimited visual automations and unlimited email sequences, and also some of the other really important tools such as free recommendations between the newsletters, paid recommendations so you can actually make money, removing branding, all of these things, you will need to proceed to their creator plan. And if you want to get some of the really advanced features, so basically if you want to have Facebook custom audiences, if you're running Facebook ads, if you want to use the newsletter referral system, which is a great way to grow, this comes free. You can purchase it as a separate tool, but this comes free with ConvertKit Advanced plan. But again, now you need to go with the Pro plan. And here we can start out for as cheap as $15 for a month, but this is for only 300 subscribers. So let's just put this to 10,000. So for 10,000 subscribers for the creator plan, you're going to pay $119 per month, and for the Pro plan is going to be $167 per month. So it is, I would say, a little bit more on the expensive side. However, you do get quite a lot of different tools for that. When it comes to MailChimp, they have a few different plans. So they have the completely free plan. However, the completely free plan, honestly, it offers so very few features. I'm not a huge fan at all of it. And then they have Essentials, Standard, and they have Premium. And basically, I would say there isn't that much of a difference when it comes to these plans. One thing you just need to keep in mind is that on these plans, you can only send 12, well, it depends on the plan, but basically on the essential plan, you can send 10 times the emails to your contact list. So let's say if you have 10,000 contacts, you can send out 100,000 emails, so 10 emails per month. On their medium plan, it's 12. So if we take this plan, for example, what that means is you can send out 3 emails per week, and that might seem like quite okay, but when you think about it, if you're getting someone in to sign up for your email, then you are going to be sending out those first couple initial emails of onboarding. So that adds up quite a bit. And then basically if you have a newsletter once or twice, and then you have some upsells, it becomes a little bit limiting. I really don't like the part. I feel like it's a little bit tricky that they're charging or limiting you on how many emails you can really send. And if you'll want more than that, you'll need to go with the premium plan, and as you can see, the premium plan is kind of crazy expensive. So in general, for 10,000 subscribers, the essentials is $82 a month, the standard is $101, and the premium is $262. And it doesn't seem maybe that expensive per se, but then again, when I compare all of the different features that you get compared to other tools, I honestly think that it's very overpriced. You don't really get as much as you do with other tools. So I rather, because it's not even like that cheaper, if you compare it to some other options, it's kind of like medium price. So I rather either go for a cheaper solution that actually provides me more, or I go with a more expensive solution and rather pay extra $10 and just get a bunch more stuff. When it comes to Substack, Substack doesn't really have like a pricing page per se. They only have this page here where they show you that what they charge is just 10% for each transaction. So it's free to start out with. You can run your newsletter for free. However, you will pay 10%. So that can add up quite a lot. If you're making $1,000, which is, not that much, you're going to be paying $100. So when you compare it to all of the other newsletter softwares, it really is the most expensive actually. When it comes to ghost pricing, honestly, there's not that much of a difference in general between all of these different plans. The only thing is basically how many different newsletters you can run, because in general I feel like they don't really have that many features that they're offering. And if we go to 10,000 subscribers and actually go to monthly, you will see the creator plan costs $124 a month, and then the team plan costs $174, and you have the business for $250. And really, you don't get that many features for this price tag. It's some of the most expensive solution for a newsletter, and you're getting some of the fewest functionalities. With GetResponse, you basically have 3 different types of pricings. So you have email marketing, you have marketing automations, and you have e-commerce marketing. So the main difference here between these plans, and actually let me just do 10,000 contacts. So with email marketing, for 10,000 contacts, it's only $79 a month, and here you get unlimited newsletters. You have basically all of the basic functionality that you will need, but I would say where it really shines is if you go with the marketing automations plan. And here it's costing $114 a month, which I would say is somewhere around the average range. But here now you get event-based workflows, you get all of these different sales funnels, advanced segmentation. So you get really a lot of tools, and especially the part of creating the sales funnels. And if you're really going for selling your offer, then this is really a great value, because some of the sales funnels, they're going to cost you this amount a month for 10,000 subscribers. Whereas here you get a bunch of really advanced email marketing features as well. And if you want to go for e-commerce, that's going to be $200 a month. And here you get some additional stuff like abandoned cart recovery, product codes, product recommendations, paid and on-demand webinars, e-commerce tracking. So as you can see here, you go really, really deep. And this is basically a full out e-commerce marketing software. So you can run a newsletter and also run a full-on e-commerce store without having 2 tools. You can have everything in one package. I think this is some of the best value you will get for your money. All right, so now let's talk overall what is the best use case, why you should use certain software based on your specific needs. This is probably the most important part. So for Beehive, if you're going to use Beehive, I would say it's best for just newsletter growth. If you are okay with monetizing with just sponsored content, because as I mentioned, you can't sell digital products, which is such a pity. So you need to keep that in mind, that okay, the only way you're making money is the ad network and sponsored content. The downside is it lacks e-com functionality, and it lacks also some of the advanced automation. So just keep in mind, if those things don't matter for you, then if you just want to grow, because for growing newsletter, Beehive is probably one of the best options. But keep in mind, if this is a need for you, the advanced automations and e-com functionality, then Beehive is not going to be the best. When it comes to MailerLite, MailerLite is basically best value for money. There is no sponsored post network, which is one of the downsides that you have on a couple of other tools. So if you were planning to make a lot of money through that, even though I would say that's probably shouldn't be the main functionality how you're making money, it should be just maybe part of it. But if that is a deal breaker for you, then it doesn't have this functionality. However, you can sell digital products which you can make a way more money you doing that. It has vast majority of automation tools, all of the opt-ins, integrations, all of these kind of things, and it's great to use it with your own website. If you run, let's say, your website on WordPress or whatever else it is, it's really, I put it for newsletters because even though usually it's an email marketing software, it's really a good option to actually run a newsletter and make a lot of money for much cheaper price, and having way better automation functions and better monetization functions with digital product selling. When it comes to ConvertKit, this is an interesting option. It's a great tool to grow a newsletter. They have a bunch of the functionalities that we talk when it comes to growth. Aside from that, it also has sponsored posts that you can earn money from, basically recommending other newsletters. So that is great. And it also allows you to do e-com, which some of the software such as Beehive, for example, doesn't allow you to do. Also, there's a bunch of different integrations. They have advanced automations. It's sort of the best of both worlds because some of the tools, they're very much focused on the automation side, e-com, and they're more like email marketing softwares, whereas other tools, they are just focused on newsletter growth, whereas ConvertKit, I would say it's basically the combination of both, and it's great for using with your own website. It does come in maybe a little bit higher price tag, but it's definitely still good value for your money. When it comes to MailChimp, honestly, I'm not a fan of MailChimp. I don't recommend it. It's lacking a lot of main features, a lot of like automation things. When it comes to newsletter growth, it doesn't really have any of the functionality, and also it's just overpriced. You pay way too much. You pay more than other softwares that are providing way more to you. I think it's just an old software that has been out there for a while, and that's why you're overpaying. Ghost is an interesting solution. It's a very simple solution. The main focus here is to actually, I would say, to build a website, but I honestly would suggest some different tools if you're looking for that. I think it's better to just build website, let's say, on WordPress. And the other thing is it's lacking a lot of monetization options, and it's really expensive, especially for what it offers. It's very limited. So honestly, I don't really understand why exactly you would use Ghost. I don't really recommend it. As I said, the only thing is that you can create a little bit nicer looking website compared to other solutions, but it's definitely better just to create a WordPress website. When it comes to Substack, Substack is interesting because it's free to start, but then you pay 10% fee. So when you actually start making money, it's really expensive. When it comes to features, it's so simplistic, and it's really lacking most of the things, most of the monetization options, no automations, customization, basically nothing. The only reason I think why people use Substack is because they see that as, okay, this is free to start out with, there are a couple of growth options with it, and it's just a popular tool. I think that's the only reason. Other than that, I honestly just in general don't recommend it. When it comes to GetResponse, I put it to all of the newsletters because technically it's email marketing software, but you can use it for newsletters. And specifically, well, you don't have sponsored posts, which is one downside of the way you can make money. However, there are other ways such as selling digital products and running ads and all of that. And especially if you are selling some sort of offer, then it can be a really great tool. And this is why I wanted to include it to a newsletter software, because it's basically sort of like a hybrid of a sales funnel builder, and it has some very advanced e-commerce features. So you sort of get best of the both worlds. Instead of having a newsletter software and then building out a separate website to build out a sales funnel, which you can do as well. There's nothing wrong with that because you might get even more advanced. But This is sort of an all-in-one almost a solution where, okay, you get vast majority of the stuff for email marketing, but you also can get very advanced with selling your offer. So that's a great option basically if you have specific offer that you want to sell and you want to get very advanced with how you're going to be selling it. So I will have a link for this whole doc and I will keep on updating it and adding some additional information, and I have discounts for all of these tools and bonuses, so check out the description.